Hey guys, Courtney Epps here, and I am super, super excited to have another edition of What's Your Plan B? Why you would be brain dead not doing a home-based business. And I have Gail here with me today, and I'm just going to have her just share, Gail, if you will, tell people, what your background is, why you got involved in network marketing, and kind of what you're doing in the world today.
Oh, gosh. All right. Interrupt me anytime. Okay, Courtney, and thank you so much for being here. You are an inspiration to me, and I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you. So a little bit about me. I'm 53, mother of 3 sons, wife to Eric. We've been married for 26 years, together a little longer. And I grew up though in a direct sales family, a direct sales home. And although I was around it a lot, I never thought I would pursue it. I always wanted to go into corporate America because that was the cool thing to do. And so I was in college, and my dad actually challenged me there was something I wanted. And so he challenged me, and I sold encyclopedias door to door. That was over almost 35 years ago. My first job. So there's lots of stories there. I have sorority sisters do skits and laugh at me, leaving to go do my little door to door knocking on the door. But fast forward, got into corporate America, and I was suddenly, really because of my background, I was stunned that no matter how I had a salary, I was grateful for my salary, I was grateful for my benefits. But it struck me that no matter how hard I worked, no matter how creative I was, no matter how much energy I brought to it, I still got paid the same. So I found this kind of longing to go back to that paid for performance compensation that I learned in the industry of direct sales and network marketing. So not going into all of it, but I had a wonderful business for a large number of years, dabbled a little bit, and then had a big business, a big team, loved it, and then got more into health and wellness with network marketing. But really, the Lord is calling me now into really helping, so training and coaching, really helping women in the industry to see that their business can really be a platform. It can be so much bigger for the purpose that God has given them, and how to kind of align that purpose with their business, with kingdom values, and really how they're called to lead. They're called to community. Lastly, as I wrap up this portion, Courtney, just to say that I'd always kind of ask the Lord, why am I always drawn to this industry? Why do I always find myself back in this industry? And so I always wondered. So I finally started asking him, and he said, you know what? This industry is founded on biblical principles. So we have freedom here. We have community here, service, love each other, and so many things. And so I love the industry, and I just want to help women, and just to help them find their purpose and their passion here, and how they can do this in a kingdom way.
Love it. So, so you got involved in corporate America. I'm sure you were. And what did you do in corporate America? What was your job title?
Yeah, job title was communications manager back in the day, and I did some PR. There was a little bit of PR manager in there too. Mm-hmm.
And you find that really, yeah. Go ahead.
No, sorry, just a little bit of marketing, things like that. The things that fell into that, press releases.
And you find out really quickly, and and I'm a business owner. I'm an employer, so the goal is as an employer is that we hire someone and we can get them to work for us for the least amount possible, right? And do the most amount of work. I mean, honestly, right. And the thing is that because there's such massive, some industries have really, really small profit margins. Some industries have really high, profit margin. And, you've got all these things that factor in. And one of the things that I always loved about sales and network marketing just in general is that if I owned a network marketing company, I would only have to pay someone when they actually performed, or if they brought me someone who performed, which seems like such a much better way. And, but it is a different type of mindset. And that's one of the things I think that people need to comprehend. And And I'm not a coach. That's one of the things. Like, I will tell you a whole bunch of things, and I will say a lot of things that you should or should not do, only from experience, not from like learning them from a textbook and offering, my expertise that way. But what I have learned is that, and people need to understand this, is that most people will stay exactly where they're at in a job because of certainty. And a lot of times they stay there not because they're happy, but they're scared to death to take a leap of faith and do something different with their life. And one of the things that I found in the network marketing industry is that you don't really have to take the leap of faith. You just have to step out. And, if you just start an attempt to earn some sort of income, or attempt to have a conversation with someone and tell them what you're doing, what ends up happening is, along the way, you start becoming a business owner. And the more and more, the better and better you get at it, the more sales you have under your belt. And here's a one thing I think people need to understand. Network marketing is not selling something to someone who doesn't need it. It's offering expertise and education to someone on a product or service that is desperately needed. And it may or may not be for you, or you may decide that it's not for you at that point in time, but it also allows you this massive opportunity to make extra money on the side just by opening your mouth and talking to people. And when you comprehend that, I don't think there's a better industry to be a part of. Like, I will tell you that first and foremost, there are, and you guys need to understand this, there are two tax systems in our country. Two. Okay. Most people think there's one for the rich and there's one for the poor. No, there's one that creates wealthy people, and there's one that creates poor people, or people who are losing more and more money. The first system is the W-2 employee system. And that system, I'm not knocking it. And we need them. I need more employees every single day. But you have to understand that they pay the highest amount in taxes because they're helping the least amount of people. They're helping their family. And that's not a bad thing. What we're saying is, as business owners, we're helping the masses. So we're going out selling every day. We're creating economy. We're spending money to grow our business. We're then hiring employees, and then someone has to pay the taxes. So we get massive tax benefits, which helps us create wealth much, much faster. And then in turn, someone pays the taxes, and that trickles down to the W-2 employee. So as far as coaching, we had a little bit of conversation before, and, about one, everything in the world is going insane. It's crazy. Like, what is happening right now it's crazy. But what I see is that the network marketing industry is thriving. So, I'm sure you're talking to people. I'm sure some have fell off, and they have no clue what they're going to do with their life. Some are skyrocketing. So, tell me what your thoughts are about network marketing and this pandemic and everything that's going on right now, and what you're seeing.
Sure. So, I think one of the reasons why I love the industry is, everybody joins for different reasons. But one of the reasons why I love it is because another kingdom principle is God wants us to grow, right? He doesn't want us to stay stuck. He wants us to grow. He doesn't, and we do that in this industry. There's so much here. So in this pandemic mindset, or what we're going through, the struggle is real, for the mind, all the distractions that we have every day that come at us. Now we've just thrown this, it's almost like if you imagine distractions like a little fire burning, and you've got to deal with this fire in your life every day because it's distracting you from what's best, right? It's distracting you from your focus. And so now the pandemic is like pouring gasoline on your little fire. Now it's like, whew. And so it's having to make those choices every day. What are the things that I'm doing that are creating anxiety? Because it's from our mindset that we are successful in the day. So if I'm going to work my business successfully today, it's going to start here. And if I am coping with this burning fire by fueling it with fear, with the news, with the fear baiting, with politics, with whatever, my up here is never going to move me forward today in my business. So, but those who choose to say, no, I am going to guard my mind. I'm going to guard my energy. I'm going to go find people who I can serve and love and help with my products, with the platform that God's given me. Those are the people who are doing well. But it's a fight, because, what am I throwing on that fire? And so the people in the industry that can manage that, can learn to manage it. This is just a huge practice, right, for managing it. And it's like, if I stay in my hula hoop and I stay where God needs me to, I stay on the thoughts that I need to stay on, I can feel at peace and at rest and successful in the day. And who have I served? Who have I loved? But if I don't, oh my gosh, it's like I'm being sucked down into low energy, fear, doubt, worry. Nobody wants my products. I haven't even talked to anybody, right? So that's for me kind of summarizing the pandemic mentality in the industry.
And I went to church yesterday, and I just have to share this, because this is something that I think is such a big deal. The pastor was talking about serving, and that we need to be a servant leader and we need to help others, right? But he talked about is that we need to give everything we have until we're empty. And I disagree with that, because if we give everything that we have until we're empty, we have nothing left to give. And if people understood that if you give, you will then receive, at the end of the day, like, the more I give, the more God gives me. Like, you can't outgive God. And one of the great things is, like, I don't do these interviews. Like, some of them, yes, do I want you to book a tax strategy session? Yes, I do, for yourself, right? I want you to save money on your taxes. But I'm doing these interviews to give back, because the things that we have learned and the connections that I have been able to make with the people that are on these interviews, I mean, it's taken me 19 years of struggle, of failure, of screw ups, of losing money. It's cost me those things. And what I'm trying to do is condense time for the people that are listening in to teach you the things that I've learned throughout the 19 years. And so when he said that, it was like, if I was taught constantly that I had to give and give and give until there was nothing left, I wouldn't want to give. Right. But if you understand that by giving and serving and helping others, which is exactly what happens in the network marketing industry, granted, there are greedy people in every single industry. So they're definitely there. There are bad people in every single industry. And what I learned is those people weed themselves out. Yes, but what you do is that if you continue to give and continue to help others, I remember in my network marketing world, when I was involved in network marketing, you would give and give and give to someone that you knew just had the greatest potential. And then they would quit, like out of nowhere. They would just quit. And it would be like, why did I give them my time? You gave of your time because you wanted to help them. And that's the great thing I see, is that you can truly help others in a massive way by having a network marketing, being in the network marketing industry, and taking advantage as well of the tax deductions go along with it. So share your take on that.
Gosh, well, I'll share this with you, and I shared this in a group where I was just inviting people to come join us today, because you have been so inspirational to me, Courtney. You really have. I thank you so much. So I want to give a little background that when it came to money, I grew up, there were 5 girls in my family. I can't figure out the name. I think 5 girls. I was 4th. My father, I think, as well-meaning as he was intending to be, he did not like to talk about money. He felt that somehow if we were focused on money, what things cost, how to value things, that we would then somehow make that our priority. Right. And he always wanted our priority to be love and service, and then the money would come. But because he kind of always pushed that away, I had a fear of finances, checkbooks, what things cost. And oh my gosh, to tell you the anxiety that I've had over 25 years, every year when I have to prepare my taxes for my accountant was like, oh my gosh, the thought of it, I would make myself sick just thinking about it long before I ever even sat down to do it. It probably would only take me about 4 hours a year, but I made it into a 40-hour problem. So one of the things, so here is Courtney's book, and you almost get it. She's so brilliant. And look, it's little, so don't be worried. You're going to have to bring some, read some huge thing. But I want to tell you, just in the preface, what I learned from this brilliant woman. Listen to this. I want you to be clear that if your accountant's CPA tells you that you cannot do things found in this book and you have the wrong accountant, that right there was so much wisdom, because if I could tell you all the women that I've run into over the years that I've tried to help with a little bit of tax knowledge that I had as a business owner about things that they could deduct, they say, oh no, well, my accountant says I can't do that. I mean, crazy things like can't deduct the expense of your products, crazy things. So I'd be like, you need a new accountant. You need an accountant who understands this industry. So that was so huge. The other huge thing in here was you describing that the role of a typical accountant or firm is to prepare a return. It is not to plan a tax strategy. And that was just so enlightening that, I was kind of expecting my accountant, who's very busy, quite frankly, with a lot of other things. I was expecting him to be a tax strategist, to know my industry, to know what write-offs and deductions would be best for my business, and to guide me in that. That's not his job, is what you taught me. His job is to prepare my taxes and be done with it. And it was like, oh my gosh. So what I was doing for so long was kind of put my head in the sand and kind of saying, I don't want to learn about all this stuff. La, la, la. I want the accountant to learn it. And really applying kingdom principles to this concept that, first of all, it's God's money. Whatever comes in, what a blessing. It's his money for me to have the gift of managing. But, he wants me to grow. He doesn't want me to have my head in the sand. He wants me to grow and learn and be a steward of the money that can come. And lastly in this, and you said it, but I don't know where someone so wise, far wiser than me, said this, and that is that, God wants to bless us so that we will be a blessing, so that we'll pour it back out, which you are such a beautiful example of. And I love the idea that, if I'm going to earn money, I'm going to be all afraid that it's going to go in 401k and afraid to spend it and afraid to invest it and afraid to go, then the Lord's going to become like, well, she's not going to be a blessing with the money that I'm going to give her. So I'm not going to give her, it's not until I say, okay, I am going to trust, I am going to be a blessing. And when some money comes in, Lord, show me where you want it to go. Show me who you want to bless. Show me how you want me to invest this. Do you want me to invest in equipping myself? How do you want me to do this? Then it's like, I feel like the Lord's like a faucet turns on, like, oh, you're going to let it pour out. So I'm going to pour it in. Yes. And for me, that king, and you are such an incredible example of that. Will you please tell everyone about really what a faucet the Lord has turned on in your business, in your life, because you serve thousands of meals, you help sex trafficked women, you do so much because of, please tell.
So it's really, about 2 years ago, we decided that we wanted to be a social business, and a social business is a way that you can combine your passion and your profits together. And so, but it's also a massive tax deduction. So, I'm always looking for ways to save money. And for those of you that know me, like, I'm going to do everything humanly possible that I can to save as much money as possible so that I have more money to give and have more to create a legacy with. And so by giving from a gross income level, meaning that for every dollar or for every product or for every service that you bring in. If you give that way and make that part of your business model, then you can truly have 100% tax deduction as a business expense. And so what that means is typically Americans will give to their church, or they'll tithe, or they'll give to Goodwill, whatever, and they never truly get benefit from it at all. 96% of Americans get no benefit from any sort of charitable giving, mortgage interest, property taxes, medical bills, or medical insurance, because they're not going above the standard deduction. So, and even if you do, you're still eliminating $24,000 worth of deductions that you could have if they were truly business expenses. So giving from a gross income level, one, brings home more money and puts more money in my pocket, but it allows me to do some things. So for every dollar that we bring in, we started that one 2 years ago, that we provided a serving of whole food plant-based nutrition to children in need through a nonprofit called Manna Relief. And so we provide about 8,000 servings every single day through our accounting practice. So, we can't do that without clients. And, people ask me all the time, they're like, Courtney, why do you work so much? I stopped working for money a year ago. I work to change the world. So, and I'm trying to create a legacy for my 6 children. Do I have all the money in the world that I want? No. Do I have everything that I need? Yes. Would my business continue to sustain if I didn't add another client? Yes, we would be perfectly fine, but I can't help more children. So the next thing that we added on was at the end of February 29th, we started Tony Robbins' birthday. We got invited to that. And we fell in love with Operation Underground Railroad and what they were doing. So they work to free children from sex trafficking and put predators in prison for what they're doing to children. And that is a big deal right now. It's all in the media. And people are creating this world of where pedophiles are okay. Like, it's not okay. Like, it's not right. And so we fell in love with that, and we decided I had to figure out how we could give from a gross income level and what that would look like. And so what we do is for every 25,000 we bring in, we free a child from sex trafficking. So we do that about every 3 to 4 days, depending on the income that comes in. And it truly is top line, guys. Like, there is no, we pay before merchant fees come out. Like, it's just whatever that gross income number is. And then so it's for every 25,000, and we free at least six to 10 children every single month. So that's been pretty amazing. And then the third thing that we added is a nonprofit called The Last Well, and it's spelled W-E-L-L, not like a well in the ocean, like a well, a drinking well. And so they are right now doing a border-to-border initiative in the entire country of Liberia. And at the end of this year, they will have spread the gospel all over an entire nation of 5.2 million people, 2.6 of which are under the age of 15 because they had a massive civil war. So most children don't live past the age of 5. I think that's 50% of the children don't live past the age of 5 because of malnutrition and waterborne illnesses that could be fixed.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, so for every $150 that we bring in, we provide safe drinking water for a person for 15 years. So we provide enough for a village of 500 people at least every week. And so, and then on top of that, we're freeing up $250,000 a week that people did not know that they had through doing these tax strategy sessions. So it's just, it's one of the most rewarding things that I've ever been a part of in my entire life. Like, I hated accounting. I really did.
That's funny.
I hated it. And I was not put on this earth to be an accountant. I know that. I'm really, really good at it. What I am put on this earth to do is be a strategist. And so when I realized that there was a complete difference, and that the mind shift of going from just taking your information and preparing your tax return like every other accountant does on the face of the planet, and or taking that information and turning it into where you're missing deductions, where are you structured properly, are you paying yourself too much in a paycheck so you're overpaying in taxes, what are the things that I could do to help someone save money? When I started being able to free up money for people truly, that's when everything shifted for me. And then when you compound it and add a even bigger purpose, like money is one thing. Freeing up money for people is one thing. Feeding children every day, freeing children every day, providing safe drinking water. Know that you are 100% the reason why people are not dead today. Like, it's just it's a different meaning and a different purpose.
So Courtney, for the person out there who's sitting there listening to you going, oh my gosh, because you're talking about global, you're talking about large scale. So help the person out there who's just, I mean, maybe they have a few $100s, right, a month that they might be able to contribute. One, help us understand what a tax strategy session with you looks like. And then the other thing is help when you talk about this social business. So you talk about having a platform, where you can impact. So I'm sure there's women listening to this call, this live right now, knowing in their heart that the Lord has called them to help a certain demographic, a certain population, but trying to go from that call in their heart to it manifesting. How do they, when they can't even comprehend on having $25,000 a week, much less a year, that they would be able to give. So help us connect the dots on that.
So, and here's what I'll tell you. We didn't have the money to give when we decided to give. And I think one of the biggest reasons why I'm so big on giving is that 2.5 years ago, we lost everything that we owned due to mold exposure. And we ended up living in a hotel for 45 days. It was insane, like with our 6 kids. And I lost my memory for about 6.5 months. And, things change, like your mindset shifts, right? And you go from like stuff doesn't matter to, and that's kind of where I'm at today. So we didn't have the extra money to give when we started. April 2018, I remember, I think our first check and what we were giving was about $800. And we sent that. So you can, just so you're aware, you can provide nourishment for a child for $2 a month. Whole food, plant-based nutrition for $2 a month. And the only nonprofit in the entire world that provides whole food, plant-based nutrition and not synthetic is Manna Relief. And so you go to mannarelief.org and you can give. You can decide, okay, I want to be a part of their medically fragile children, which I work a lot with medically fragile children here in the entire United States. And anyone that you know that has a child that has any sort of medical issue, I need to know about it. I need to know what they have so that I can work on providing those products for those children to help them get better. So it just, the products that we give help their body supercharge. It supercharges their immune system and help their body fight against sickness and disease. That's it. So, and thank God it's plant-based. So it's a really great product. For $4.58, you can provide water to a person for 15 years. $4.58. And for $1,200, you can free a child from sex trafficking. So the first month that we decided to give, we made $15,000 that month. That was not a lot, because I want you to understand that we had to pay a $5,000 a month attorney bill to our attorney to fight against this whole issue with the mold stuff that we had going on. And we had to rebuy everything that we ever owned. Everything. We lost every single thing, like clothes. We had to buy a new house, new clothes, new furniture, everything. So that being said, that check would have bounced had he cashed the check, had the founder of Manna Relief cashed that check that first week. But I knew we were supposed to give. The next week, the IRS sent me a check I'd been waiting on for 3.5 years for $25,000. The next month we gave, it was like 22,000 servings. And the reason why that's a big deal is because it was the month of May. We actually made more in the month of May than we did in the month of April. That's unheard of and uncalled for an accounting firm. Okay. So you're typically making all your money in March and April. And we made more in May than we did in April. And so then the next week, like, we didn't have the extra money, guys. Like, it was
2018. This is 2018.
Yeah, this is 2018. So in May of 2018, we hit 22,000 servings. It was about $1,300, something like that. And then we gave that, the check would have bounced again because we spent that $25,000 and paid off stuff that we need to pay off and rebought our stuff back. And then Brandon, my husband, his grandma called us one day and said, "Hey, I've decided I wanted to give you guys some money before I die." And she gave us $5,000. And I'm like, this is nuts. So everything continues to get better and better and better. And fast forward, at that point, 15,000 servings, like divide that by 28. I'm not even sure how much that is, but it was maybe like 300 children that we were providing for, and, maybe more. But when you take that today and we're at 8,000, I truly don't believe we would be where we're at today had we not given the way that we've given. So, you start off at what you can give. And, sometimes I overextend and think, hey, we can definitely give this much. We could provide 10 children. I mean, you think 10 children would go with whole food plant-based nutrition for $20 a month. It's not that much money. And at the end of the day, you'd spend that on Starbucks, 3 times. It's just about shifting your mindset and what it does for you. So our business has grown 30 times in the last 3 years. It's grown 20 times since we started giving. So it's growing at the rate of 10 times a year. And I know that is happening because we're giving so much. God does provide. And I'll tell you this last story. $25,000 is a lot of money. That was a lot of money. It's still a lot of money today. But on Tony Robbins' birthday, I decided that we need to give $25,000, and we gave $25,000 and committed to another $25,000 to free these children from sex trafficking. And my husband was not so happy about it, I'll have to tell you, at all. And I didn't talk to him about it. And it was something that I felt led to do. And it was really late. And I just gave it. And I said, you know what, we'll get it back. It'll all come back. And that was on a Saturday. And on Monday, we made $28,000, like $300 and some dollars came in our bank account on Monday. And so that was the sales that one day. That was the sales that we made. And it was just like a confirmation to me that I was doing the right thing. Like, I know that I was put on this path to teach more, how to have more so that they can live more, so that they can give more. And then I can nourish more, providing water and food. And then I can also free more children. That's what I was put on this earth.
Say that all again.
So I was put on this earth to teach more, how to have more, so that they can live more, then they can give more, then I can nourish more. So feed and feed and provide safe drinking water, and then I can free more children. Mm-hmm. And it's just like this circle. And if we continue to do that and take the knowledge, take the information that we've learned, it doesn't even have to be money. Teaching people how to free up money by being involved in a home-based business, you can change someone's life. Opening your mouth and telling them about what you're doing so that they could potentially do it as well, whether they see it as a viable opportunity or whether they don't, is irrelevant. The fact is, it's your job to teach them and educate them on a system that they may not even know about. And the reason why they don't know about it is because let's face it, if every household in America, because the average person can save $4,000 to $8,000 a year by having some sort of home-based business, if we took the households, which I think is 128 million, times that by 4,000, it would cost the IRS $508 billion a year. So that's why we don't know about the second business owner tax system. It's the only way that a W-2 employee, can viably have in their spare time, go out and build a business that costs very low to get involved in. You don't have to have any education in order to do it. And then at the end of the day, you could potentially outgrow your entire full-time income by building this sustainable part-time business. And the IRS, quite frankly, doesn't want people to know that or even understand it.
Right. The first time I heard Courtney, there was a group of us, and a lot of people were commenting and really, challenging because of the mindset that we've been given, and challenging this idea that, well, if my business isn't making money, I don't have any tax write-offs, which is completely not true. I remember even my husband, at the end of the year, sometimes my, the income that I would make, sometimes the tax deductions that I got to take were far greater. And I remember, you will share that story. It's better from you. Share the story about talking to the W-2 husband.
Yes.
Whose wife has a little side business, and him being frustrated that her little side business isn't making her any money. But share that story. It's so good.
So guys, here, the one thing you need to understand is that as a W-2 employee, and I apologize, like I got like this bandit on I almost sliced my pinky finger in two. I have a full-time nanny who cooks and cleans, and we have a housekeeper and stuff. And I decided I was going to cut a cucumber yesterday and almost died. But anyway, and I did not have a full-time nanny until just recently. So it was a big deal for us, for our children, to be able to do what they wanted to do and have a good time. And we were able to do what we needed to do for our business to grow it for a legacy. So that being said, as far as helping you understand, W-2 employees make money. They have no tax deductions. And I mean, yeah, you can say you get to claim your mortgage interest. More than likely, you do not. You may say you can claim your medical bills and your medical insurance, not unless you go above 7.5% of your AGI. No, you do not. Your taxes are capped. Charitable contributions, unless you go above the standard deduction, you're not getting benefits. So W-2 employees, let's say they make $100,000. Okay, that 100 grand, what happens? They pay taxes on every bit of that, federal, state, and FICA. Okay, the average W-2 employee is paying about 40% of every dollar they make in taxes.
Uh-oh, we lost your audio.
Hold on. Okay, so I don't know what happened. So whatever's left over is what they consider cost of living. And most people are overspending their paycheck. So the average household is 60 grand a year. They're going to pay 14,000 in taxes. Their take home is 46,000. What's left over has to go towards cost of living. Sadly enough, the average cost of living in America is $53,000 a year. So the average household is going in debt $7,000 a year to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, take 2 weeks paid vacation. Well, how do we fix that? It is not by getting a second job. It's not even by getting a second stream of income from a spouse. You would be much better off for the spouse to have a network marketing business or a home-based business and work that to offset the income received on paper from the W-2 income. So here's what happens. This guy came, he called, he wanted to do a tax strategy session, and he was just really bashing his wife. And he was like, she's not making any money, blah, blah, blah. And she was making money. She was actually making money from the company that she was doing business with. I said, but what you don't understand is your wife is actually saving you money and saving your family money. And she's actually helping you keep more of your money because she decided to be in this network marketing business. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, on paper, it shows a loss. I said, but here's the thing. You make your money, you pay taxes, you have no say-so in it. And then what's left over, you pay for. You pay for your needs, some of your needs and wants. She makes her money. Then we have all of these tax deductions that we can take advantage of. And then, which are needs and wants, right? We get to take a lot of our needs and wants, so we get to write off. And then what's left over, we pay taxes on it. Well, because your wife is in a network marketing business and she's generating, I can't remember if it was like $2,000 a month or whatever, but at the end of the day, she was making her money and had these deductions, but they were not extra deductions. They were not like extra expenses in the household. They were living expenses yesterday before she became a business owner, and now they're business expenses. And so cell phone, meals, mileage, internet, travel, cost of goods sold. So I can assure you that especially women, we're not going to stop buying products that we want to take to make us look better, to make us skinnier. We're not going to stop doing that. And so it's either you get involved in a company that's giving you the products that you are taking anyway, and you're sharing those with people so that you can claim that as a tax deduction, or it's just an expense for you. And that's what I explained to him. She's still going to spend this money. You still have a cell phone bill. You still have internet. You still have business use of your home. You have all these expenses. But now, because of your wife starting that network marketing business, her money is tax-free. The money she makes every month is tax-free. And then she's left over on paper with a loss, which offsets against your income. It's actually putting you guys in a lower tax bracket, and it's causing you to keep more of your money. So I think your wife made a really good decision, don't you? And I just shut up. And he said, yeah, he said, yes. But guys, that's what I want you to understand. Like, you don't have to get a second income. Yeah, a second job. Like, your spouse doesn't have to go to work. All you're doing is putting yourself in a higher tax bracket. What should be happening is that one person, I mean, I can be very blunt. One person should be staying at home. I don't care if that's the husband or the wife, and they should be creating a business from home so that they could spend time with their family, so that potentially they could homeschool their kids if that's what they wanted to do. I think this world would be 100 times better if there was one parent in the household that was actually able to stay at home with their children. I mean, and I'm sure with you having 3 children, looking back, in corporate America, like, I would give anything right now. That is my main focus, is to be able to get out of this office so that my staff can run it. My 25 employees can run this place so that I can go back home and build my business just like I did for the last 9 years. Like, that is my number one concern, is to be able to be with my children every single day. And we just bought a camper, a travel trailer, 44-foot travel trailer, and a toy hauler. And we bought 4 4-wheelers, and we bought a new truck this past weekend. And we're going to utilize that so that we can travel the country and spend time with our children. But I can also have the availability to be able to work when I need to work. So I've made my business in a way, almost like network marketing is that I can work it from anywhere. Like, I can review tax returns from anywhere. I can do tax strategy sessions from anywhere. And that's the benefit of being inside the network marketing industry. Most people can't say that. I can go work in Hawaii tomorrow, or I could work in Africa tomorrow. It doesn't even matter wherever I go, as long as I'm with my family. And guess what? Because of that, all of those things are tax deductions for us, because we're going on the road. We're going to go see our clients. I'm going to do training events. I'm going to teach people. I'm going to meet our clients, because we never get to see them, because we're always here, and our clients are all over the country. So it's a win-win opportunity, and our children work for us. They're our employees. So we pay for them. We pay them, and then they pay for their stuff. So when you understand that this world of network marketing or home-based business is the greatest thing that could ever possibly happen for you, you will do everything you can humanly possibly do to get in it, stay in it, and build a business so that you could walk away from whatever it is that you're currently doing in your life.
Courtney, it's so powerful. And I hope people are hearing, everybody that's watching, that it doesn't have, it might not be the wells or the sex trafficking or whatever, but the Lord has given you, who's ever watching, a specific call on your life. You can replicate what Courtney's talking about in your life. And you'll need people to come alongside and mentor you and guide you. You've paid Tony Robbins, I don't even want to know the hundreds of thousands or whatever before, but the blessing that equipping has done for you in your business and allowed you to multiply and expand and believe in that expansion. And so I just pray that these seeds that you are giving people watching, that they can start to believe in that call on their life and see their business as the vehicle that's providing the platform for them, just as it has for you. And it's just so exciting. I know the Lord has really calling me to help women with this exact piece, to help them see that you can align your business with kingdom values and turn it into the platform the Lord is calling you to do. And the deal is, I used to wake up with such anxiety and fear, and I was living in the worldly view of this industry, which was hustle, push, quantity, reach more people, go, go, go. And it was exhausting. And it's why people leave this industry and burn out. It doesn't work. And, when you apply kingdom values, I can work from rest and peace and joy today because I have this higher purpose and calling in my life and my business. And it just makes waking up a joy. Like, oh my gosh, God, what are we going to do today?
Yes.
And then you just exemplified all of that. Gosh, awesome.
Well, and I mean, people right now, with everything going on, people need hope. And guys, when I first saw the network marketing industry, I will tell you, I was a broken human being. 6 years prior, I lost my business. The guy I sold it to stopped paying me, and I lost everything I ever owned. And I've lost it twice now. So, it's just stuff now. It doesn't even matter. Like, I'll get it back. And it'll be better, when I get it back. But I want you to understand, like, I was broken. I could not afford to even join my first network marketing company. My parents actually paid for me to join. I would never have joined it. And I put 900 people in that company. But I'll tell you what, I grew my accounting practice through it because I had a non-compete in the entire state of South Carolina for anything involving insurance and accounting. And although the guy that I sold my business to stopped paying me after 4 months, it did not matter because I was unemployable. No one wanted to hire me because every single time I tried to get a job, he would threaten to sue the owners of the company. So it became a moot point. Like, we can't hire Courtney because we'd have to hire an attorney and fight it. So that being said, I couldn't afford to file bankruptcy 10 years ago. Like, I could not. So it's kind of crazy. And when my parents got me involved in network marketing, I saw it as a way that I could help people. I could tell people and teach them how to save money in taxes. But I didn't understand the power of home-based business until I actually joined a company. Someone asked me to do a tax return for them. I saved them $4,100 more than they'd ever gotten back before. Because, see, guys, I've not been a W-2 employee for 19 years. So I was doing taxes for myself and writing off everything. I didn't realize where you guys stand if you are a W-2 employee today. I did not realize it, and most accountants don't comprehend it. So as a W-2 employee, I saved this woman $4,100, more than she'd ever gotten back before. She was able to use the product for the first time as she hit the first rank in the company, which was 30 left and 30 right. So it was 60 people, and she had just been kind of floundering for 2.5 years. And so when I saw that not only could you help people free up money, but I also could help people make money, that became extremely appealing to me. And while I was building that, I was building my accounting practice. And fortunately for me, I received the personal growth and development that I needed, but I only received it inside the network marketing industry. And I showed up to a Tony Robbins event 3 years ago, and I understood that I was massively sabotaging myself because I was scared to fail. And so many people do that. And I had massive limiting beliefs because I'd failed before. I didn't want to fail again. I didn't want to be a failure to my children. And I think a lot of people, they try a network marketing business and they don't fail. They just stop. They just quit. And they're scared to try again. And that's the one thing I'll tell you. If you don't get anything from what I say today, is that if you don't try again, you will always be a failure. And that was the one thing that Tony told me. I felt like he was talking to me. He was talking to 10,000 people, but that stuck with me, is that if I don't try again, that I will always be a failure to my children. And that's the last thing that I wanted. And because I wasn't trying, I was still continuing to fail. And so that allowed me to shift my entire career and understanding. And I finally allowed myself to be a professional again, because I was scared to death I was going to make one wrong decision, do something stupid, and lose my practice again. And that was just crazy. Like, I learned so much by losing everything I owned twice. Greatest thing ever. Like, I mean, and people don't typically say that, but it's got me where I am today. I realize how important it is to give. I realize how important it is to help people and to educate them. And that's why I'm here today. And that's why Gail is here today, is to help educate people, taking what we've learned over, decades, and condensing that down to help people understand it quicker so that you can make money faster, so that you can provide for your family sooner, right? And I mean, I think that's at the end of the day, and that's what Tony Robbins did for me. Yes, it was $85,000, to be a platinum partner. Did it condense time for me? Yes, it changed my whole entire life, and it forced us to grow. And you know what's crazy? I went to one Tony Robbins event. Next month will be 2 years, and I had on the board, we had about 200 clients. It was this one plan to help us grow our business really easily. And it was a way that we could grow it, increase our client base by 10%, increase our value so we could increase our price, and increase our frequency, how often people bought from us, which this can work in every single industry. And you think about it, it's very easy. Okay, can I increase my clients by 10%? Can I increase my value or my pricing? And can I increase my frequency on how often people buy from me? And at the time, we were on pace to do about $297,000 that year in 2018. And this year, we will hit the 100, 100, 100 plan. So we hit 10, 10, 10 in 4 months. Like, it was crazy. I literally just took that simple system. Can I do this? Can I increase my client base 10%? Can I increase my value by 10% and increase my price? Can I increase that frequency? And you guys can do that. Super simple. So because I had that plan, I wrote it down. This year, we're on pace to do 2.3 million.
Unbelievable.
And from 297,000. Like, that's absurd, but it's just the small little shifts and changes. And if you can envision it, you can see it. And so you need to write it down. If you want to be something, you've got to put that on a piece of paper, and you've got to say, I'm going to do this. Like, there was something I said last January. I'll tell you, this is crazy. I said last January, I didn't even know Les Brown. I didn't personally know Tony Robbins. I'd had 1 3-minute conversation with Eric Worre, and I said, I will by the end of the year, I will speak on stage for Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Eric Worre, and Grant Cardone. And by December of 2019, I had done all of that, add in Rachel Hollis, Lou Holtz, Harvey McKay, Eric Thomas. I mean, it's crazy, guys. Whatever you believe you can do, you can, but you have to first envision it and go after it, and not allow yourself to be fearful of what happens if I can't do it. Because, what happens when you can? What happens when you do it?
Wow. You are such an inspiration, Courtney. Thank you so much. My gosh. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so thankful, and I'm so thankful for you, Gail, for what you are doing. Please make sure, tell us how everyone can get in contact with you, and be a part of Kingdom. It's Kingdom what now? Say it again.
Yep. Kingdom Solutions. So I just launched Kingdom Solutions for professional women in direct sales and network marketing. And it's a Facebook group. It's had just incredible engagement. So you can easily find us on Facebook, and would love to have you. Kingdom women wanting to lift and support each other, and wanting just to provide, like you said, to condense that time. I spent so many years in the industry struggling with that hustle and that push, and intuitively knew it was not what God was calling me to do, but quite honestly didn't have another solution. And so that's where, the Lord's really leading me, is to help women find kingdom solutions in the industry that I believe He created. And it was founded on biblical principles. And there's so much purpose and passion here. So,
I love it. Yeah, I mean, He had 12 disciples, and they went and shared. Look at what they did. Like, it's crazy. If you think about that, it's like they shared a story, and they went and spread that all over the entire world. So, whether you believe in God, whether you don't, I'm not telling you what to believe in. I'm just sharing with you. It's all about it's not even a higher being. It's just there's so much greater than just us. It's not just us. We're supposed to help and provide for others, people that can't help themselves, people that, you can't ever expect anything from. And when you start doing that, everything opens up. It's like your heart opens up. It's like everything opens up. Your business gets better. Everything around you gets better because your focus is not about you and providing for you. It's about providing for others. And I think God gives us more, or whatever you believe in, gives us more because we're helping provide for other people.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because, the idea that there could be, so many people watching, the idea of even kingdom. So what helped me so much is, kingdom principles are nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with man-made stuff. My passionate belief is and experience is that God loves us with a passion that we can't even really comprehend. And he has placed inside each of us that purpose so that when we just light up with it. And when you find that, that's the kingdom principles, is living in that that light and that love, and that you just want to go serve and help people. Yes. Nothing to do with kind of religion or rules. And I love when you brought up the 12 disciples. I read something recently that when you feel that you're not, like, who am I to do this? Who am I? Well, it's like, who are you not? And I remember someone saying that, Peter, who was Peter? Peter was a guy with a boat. That was it. It was like, a guy with a boat. It's like, you have gifts that God has given you, and he will. I love the, he doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. Exactly. He equipped those 12 disciples, and he will equip you, just walk towards the light. Yeah.
I know. And who knew, like, an accountant could speak all over the United States and share and teach and help others. It's like, it's weird, but he takes something that you're super good at. It may not be something, like, for me, it wasn't necessarily something that I was passionate about until I realized and was able to direct it in a way that I could help and serve others. And what better way to serve others than to free up money for them and help them make more money? Because when you're focused on the money that you don't have or you don't have enough of, you can't make any more money. Like, it's the craziest thing. And when you're off of the focus and you're focusing on how can I help others, how can I do these things, then the money just comes. And your dad, talking about your dad and what he did, there was just a little shift that should have happened. It's like, we need money, and the more money that we make, the more we can help each other, because whatever money is for you, it's just it's a magnifier for who you are as a person. So if you're a bad person today, you're going to be worse with money. If you're a great person today, you're going to be better with money. Money is not evil. Money helps you provide for more people. And, and that's my hope for you guys here, is that just go share what you were put on this earth to do. And maybe you don't know what that is yet. Maybe you are just trying to figure out this whole network marketing thing. Maybe you've been in it for a really long time and you don't really have, like, you're making a lot of money, but you don't really have a purpose and you don't really know what you're truly doing with your life. When you add in feeding children or freeing children or providing safe drinking water or whatever it is that you're passionate about, when you add that in, it will force you to be a better person every single day. It will force you to get up with a different sense of purpose and allow you to go out and change the world every single day. So I appreciate you, Gail. This is probably one of my favorite. What's your plan B? Why you be brain dead, not doing a home-based business? And the reason why is just sharing our heart and who we are and what we're trying to do for people. So get in contact with Gail. If you want to book a tax strategy session, I'll put a link in here, but you definitely can. And I appreciate you guys listening. And I know you got something else you want to say.
Are you going to put the link? I hope so, because I told them you were. The link to your book?
Yes, I will put the link to my book on here. And I'll go back, and I have this like going into 5 different places. So I have it here, and I'll make sure it's posted on every single one in the next few minutes.
Thank you so much. That's such a blessing. It's just, I'm telling you, I learned in the preface. I learned so much. So thank you, Courtney. You're just an inspiration, and thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Happy Monday.